Welcome to Thinker's Diary, where we explore ideas that have the potential to transform your life. I'm Ali, and today we're going to take a deep dive into a concept that can revolutionize the way you approach personal development. It's all about small, consistent changes that lead to big, remarkable results. Yes, we're talking about Atomic Habits by James Clear. Whether you're looking to build new habits, break old ones, or simply understand how habits shape your life, this episode is for you. We'll explore the core ideas from the book, and I'll share actionable insights that you can start applying right away. Atomic Habits is not just another self-help book. It's a manual for understanding and mastering the small behaviors that shape our lives. Clear argues that the key to long-term success lies not in big, dramatic changes, but in the small atomic habits that we repeat every day. He introduces us to the idea that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. In other words, the small actions you take consistently compound over time to create significant outcomes. Let's break down this idea and explore how you can harness the power of atomic habits in your own life. Let's start with the concept of tiny changes. One of the most profound ideas in Atomic Habits is that we often overlook the importance of small improvements. We tend to think that only big changes lead to big results. But Clear challenges this notion by illustrating how even a 1% improvement every day can lead to massive gains over time. Imagine this: if you improve by just 1% every day, by the end of the year, you'll be nearly 37 times better than you were at the start. On the other hand, if you decline by 1% each day, you'll erode your skills and capabilities significantly over the same period. This is the essence of compound growth, or conversely, compound decline. It's a principle that applies not just to financial investments, but to every aspect of our lives: our health, our productivity, our relationships, and more. The key takeaway here is that small habits are not just trivial actions, they are the building blocks of significant change. So when you think about the goals you want to achieve, don't get overwhelmed by the scale of the change required. Instead, focus on the small, daily actions that will move you closer to your goal little by little. Now let's dive into the framework that Clear introduces for creating and maintaining good habits and for breaking bad ones. He calls these the 4 laws of behavior change. This framework is designed to make the process of habit formation simple and actionable. The first law is make it obvious. This is about designing your environment in a way that makes the cues for your desired habits clear and visible. For example, if you want to develop a habit of drinking more water, place a water bottle on your desk where you can see it throughout the day. The idea is that our behavior is often driven by what we notice in our environment. By making the cues for good habits more obvious, you increase the likelihood of following through. The second law is make it attractive. Habits that are enjoyable or rewarding are more likely to stick. Clear suggests a technique called temptation bundling, where you pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. For instance, if you love watching Netflix but struggle to work out, you could only allow yourself to watch your favorite show while on the treadmill. This makes the habit of exercising more attractive by associating it with something you already enjoy. The third law is make it easy. The easier a habit is, the more likely you are to stick with it. This is where the idea of reducing friction comes into play. Friction is anything that makes a habit harder to do. For example, if your goal is to practice guitar, keeping your guitar out of its case and in a visible, easily accessible place reduces the friction between you and your practice. Clear also advocates for the 2-minute rule, a strategy where you start a new habit by doing something that takes less than 2 minutes. This makes it easy to start and helps you build momentum. The fourth law is make it satisfying. Immediate rewards reinforce habits and make them more satisfying to perform. Positive reinforcement is crucial because it gives your brain a reason to repeat the behavior. This could be as simple as checking off a habit tracker, which gives you a small hit of satisfaction every time you complete your habit. Over time, this satisfaction helps to cement the habit. These 4 laws provide a clear, actionable framework for habit formation. They help you design your environment, mindset, and routine in a way that makes good habits easier to build and bad habits harder to sustain. One of the most powerful concepts in Atomic Habits is the idea of identity-based habits. Clear argues that the most effective way to change your habits is to focus on your identity rather than your goals. This is a major shift from the traditional goal-setting approach. Let's break this down. Most people approach habits by setting a goal. For example, they might say, I want to run a marathon, but according to Clear, this approach is flawed because it focuses on the outcome rather than the process. Instead, Clear suggests that you should focus on who you want to become, not just what you want to achieve. So rather than saying, I want to run a marathon, you would say, I want to become a runner. When you focus on your identity, every small action you take is a vote for the kind of person you want to be. If you run, even just a mile, you're reinforcing your identity as a runner. The more you act in alignment with this identity, the more solidified it becomes. Over time, this identity drives your behavior, making it easier to maintain your habits. This concept is incredibly powerful because it shifts the motivation from external outcomes to internal beliefs. When your habits are tied to your identity, they become a natural expression of who you are, rather than something you have to force yourself to do. Let's now explore the role of environment in habit formation. Clear emphasizes that our environment has a profound impact on our habits. In fact, he argues that environment often matters more than motivation. This is because we are deeply influenced by the cues and triggers in our surroundings. For example, if you're trying to eat healthier, the way you arrange your kitchen can make a big difference. If you keep unhealthy snacks out of sight and make fresh fruits and vegetables easily accessible, you're more likely to choose the healthier option. Similarly, if you want to be more productive, organizing your workspace to minimize distractions can help you stay focused. Clear also talks about the concept of environment design, which involves intentionally shaping your surroundings to support the habits you want to build. This might mean creating different spaces for different activities, such as having a dedicated space for work, another for relaxation, and another for exercise. By associating specific environments with specific behaviors, you can create powerful cues that trigger the desired habit. The key takeaway here is that you don't have to rely solely on willpower to change your habits. By designing your environment to support your goals, you make it easier to follow through on your intentions. As we near the end of our discussion, let's talk about the importance of habit tracking and reflection. Clear emphasizes that tracking your habits can be a powerful tool for building consistency. When you track your habits, you create a visual reminder of your progress, which can be incredibly motivating. There are many ways to track your habits, from simple habit trackers and journals to apps designed specifically for this purpose. The method you choose isn't as important as the act of tracking itself. What matters is that you're consistently monitoring your behavior, which helps keep you accountable and focused. In addition to tracking, reflection is a crucial component of habit formation. Regularly reflecting on your habits allows you to evaluate what's working and what isn't. This might involve asking yourself questions like, what went well this week? Where did I struggle? And what can I do differently next time? Reflection helps you make adjustments and fine-tune your approach, ensuring that your habits evolve with your needs and circumstances. Clear suggests that reflection should be a regular practice, whether it's weekly, monthly, or quarterly. The goal is to create a feedback loop that helps you stay aligned with your identity and goals while continuously improving your habits. Before we wrap up, I want to touch on a concept from Atomic Habits that's particularly relevant when you're working to build new habits: the plateau of latent potential. This idea explains why it often feels like you're not making progress even when you're consistently working on your habits. Clear explains that progress doesn't happen in a straight line. Instead, it's more like a curve. In the early stages, it might feel like nothing is happening because the changes are so small. This is the plateau of latent potential, the period where you're putting in the work but not yet seeing the results. But here's the crucial point: if you stick with your habits, there comes a moment when the results start to compound and progress becomes visible. This is where most people give up right before they break through the plateau. Clear emphasizes the importance of being patient and trusting the process. You'll eventually see the fruits of your labor. This idea is particularly powerful because it encourages persistence. It reminds us that even when progress feels slow or invisible, our efforts are not wasted. The small, seemingly insignificant actions you take each day are building up, and over time, they will create significant change. The key is to remain consistent and patient, understanding that real progress is often delayed but inevitable if you stay the course. Let's now explore another important aspect of habit formation that James Clear discusses in Atomic Habits: the impact of social influence. Our habits are not formed in isolation, they are deeply influenced by the people around us. Clear explains that we tend to adopt habits that are praised or approved by our social circles. This means that the people you surround yourself with can have a significant impact on the habits you form. For instance, if your friends are health conscious, you're more likely to adopt healthy eating habits. Conversely, if your social circle is more sedentary, it can be challenging to maintain an active lifestyle. Understanding this social dynamic is crucial for habit formation because it means you can leverage social influence to your advantage. Clear suggests that if you want to build a new habit, you should join a group where that habit is the norm. This could be a fitness group, a professional organization, or even just a group of friends who share your goals. The key is to find a community that embodies the identity you want to adopt. Being part of such a group provides support, motivation, and accountability, making it easier to stick with your habits. Another fascinating concept from Atomic Habits is the Goldilocks rule, which states that habits are most effective when they are just challenging enough, not too easy, not too hard. According to Clear, humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right at the edge of their current abilities. This is the sweet spot where you're pushing yourself, but not so much that you feel overwhelmed or discouraged. The Goldilocks rule is important for maintaining long-term habits because it helps you find the right level of challenge. If a habit is too easy, you'll likely get bored and lose interest. If it's too difficult, you'll get frustrated and may give up. By keeping your habits in that optimal zone of difficulty, you can maintain engagement and continue to make progress. Clear suggests that as you get better at a habit, you should gradually increase the difficulty to keep yourself challenged. This might mean setting slightly higher goals, adding more complexity to the habit, or pushing yourself to improve in small ways. The idea is to keep growing and evolving, ensuring that your habits remain engaging and rewarding over time. While much of Atomic Habits focuses on building good habits, Clear also offers valuable insights into breaking bad ones. He emphasizes that the same principles that help you build good habits can be used in reverse to break bad ones. To break a bad habit, you can apply the inversion of the 4 laws of behavior change. Here's how. 1. Make it invisible. If you want to stop a bad habit, start by reducing the cues that trigger it. This could mean removing junk food from your house if you're trying to eat healthier, or disabling notifications on your phone if you're trying to reduce screen time. 2. Make it unattractive. Reframe your mindset around the bad habit by focusing on the negative consequences. For example, if you're trying to quit smoking, remind yourself of the health risks and how it affects your well-being. 3. Make it difficult. Increase the friction for engaging in the bad habit. If you want to stop spending too much time on social media, you could log out of your accounts after each session, making it more cumbersome to log back in. 4. Make it unsatisfying. Implement an immediate consequence for engaging in the bad habit. This could involve an accountability partner who checks in with you, or even a financial penalty if you slip up. By applying these principles, you can create an environment where bad habits are harder to maintain and less appealing, making it easier to replace them with healthier behaviors. As we wrap up this deep dive into Atomic Habits, it's important to touch on the idea of continuous improvement and habit evolution. One of the key messages in the book is that habits are not static, they evolve over time as you grow and change. Clear emphasizes the importance of regularly reviewing and adjusting your habits. What works for you now may not work in the future as your circumstances and goals change. This is why it's crucial to periodically assess your habits and make adjustments as needed. This could involve setting new goals, refining existing habits, or even letting go of habits that no longer serve you. The concept of Kaizen, or continuous improvement, is relevant here. It's about making small, ongoing adjustments to your habits to keep them aligned with your evolving identity and aspirations. By adopting this mindset, you ensure that your habits continue to support your growth and success over the long term. So there you have it, a comprehensive exploration of Atomic Habits by James Clear. We've covered the power of tiny changes, the 4 laws of behavior change, the importance of identity-based habits, the role of environment, the impact of social influence, the Goldilocks rule, strategies for breaking bad habits, and the importance of continuous improvement. Remember, the key takeaway from Atomic Habits is that small, consistent actions can lead to significant results over time. By focusing on these small habits, you can create lasting change in your life, whether it's improving your health, boosting your productivity, or achieving your personal goals. Thank you for tuning in to Thinker's Diary. If you found today's episode valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who might benefit from these insights. Until next time, keep focusing on those small changes and watch how they compound into something extraordinary.